Hello, everyone. This is Alex from eSputnik speaking. I'm happy to be here with you today. But first of all, let's have a brief check. How the things are going. Whether we all have a good picture and do you hear me well, please comment if you can see and hear me well. Today we're gonna speak about real-time data for customer retention in e-commerce. And that is a topic that is really makes me very enthusiastic about, because that's what we are mostly focused on here in eSputnik, trying to get as much positive effect from different aspects of building automated marketing. And I believe there's plenty of good insights that we have in this presentation that we've gathered not only precisely for this event, but also from very different other materials that we've prepared through the past years. And I believe there's plenty of interesting insights that could be added in future. But my main goal is to give you a brief overview of how, as we see here in eSputnik, the industry is changing and what are the opportunities for you guys to improve your digital campaigns. So just one more minute to have everyone here with us. Meanwhile, I'll go to some next slides to give you a little more information about how are we gonna spend this time. I don't know if you see this screen in such size well. I'm gonna change a layout a little bit. And what if we'll do it like this? Oh, I believe this should be better. So the agenda for today is first half of 2021 passed, and there are huge changes upcoming in our industry, including changes in iOS 15 policy, changes in mail tracking policy for generally for all the products of Apple, and also for cookie policies for browsers that are already changing, but more changes are about to come in the future. So for me, it's very important to give you an explanation about what's going to change and how you guys can deal with this. So what's the real-time processing and what's the real-time communication? What data can be collected and processed, and which data you cannot use according to different regulations that already are on the market. I also wanted to give you a brief overview of how we gonna automatically enrich the customer profiles so that your communications would be relevant and clear for users. And there's plenty of ways how to use real-time data in marketing, including triggered communications like abandoned baskets and abandoned views, and many more that we'll have a deeper look later. It's also important that personalization is also possible to be done via real-time data and instant messaging. Of course, data collection and privacy control is the number one rule that we have to obey. And I would like to finish with a small overview of a new strategic tool, customer journey mapping, how it helps us to see the whole picture of what's going on with your retail or e-com shop at glance. So I guess everyone's ready, everyone's here, and we're gonna have it started. A few words about me. I've been in business consultancy for 11 years. The last 7 years, I'm here in eSputnik. I'm a head of operations and co-founder of a company. email marketing is something that I'm most interested in, but all the direct communications and marketing and modern digital trends are very interesting for me. So if you have something to share, absolutely reach out, get in touch with me. I'll be happy to give you some feedback, or maybe you can share something with me. I'll be very happy to chat with you and discuss it. Like I said, I'm from eSputnik. You're probably familiar with the tool if you are our users. If not, just a quick overview of what we do here. We basically do three main things. We gather data about people behavior, about people interests directly. We gather this data and help you to easily build different segments based on people's interests, sources, and so on. And the final thing is to use this data to make personalized activation and to build the direct communication with the customer so that it's easy to implement for you as a user of the platform, but also very relevant and not spammy for your actual audience. And that's very important for us, that all the communications have to be built on preliminary agreement from a user for this communication, and only in this consented communication you can really build strong and long-term relationships with your customers. So that's our belief, and our tool is helping you to achieve this. So welcome to Fabulous 2021. Of course, 2020 was even more fabulous if you look at this picture, but what's really interesting in this, and if fabulous is really a proper word to describe what was going on, with all due respect to this great challenge that humanity lives through, we cannot ignore the fact that for e-commerce, it actually was a real boost for developing new products and growing different new industries in e-commerce. Like, for instance, this is some stats from benevans.com, a great site with great overview of what's going on with e-commerce. And we see that we actually exceeded expectations for 5 to 10 years in terms of how e-commerce is growing. The same thing, even better, was going for different sub-industries of e-commerce. For instance, groceries in the UK grew almost twice, from 5% to more than 10%. And this is like really huge for any industry that grows that rapidly. And if you will dive a little deeper in the structure of e-commerce, we will see that e-commerce is not equal for all the like verticals. For toys and for toys, for instance, the penetration of online sales is the most big. It's 50% and more. And the least advanced in terms of online sales is grocery. But let's have a look at what's going on with e-commerce. Most greatest players. For instance, Amazon grew tremendous 37% in 2020. So it's 32% how it was growing, and it's like tremendous for any industry. But imagine, it's not just one industry. The whole e-commerce was in US is held on the shoulders of that giant. And another interesting thing is that throughout the past years, the way people interact with internet and the way they use online search changed also significantly. From initial search for a cheaper product, nowadays people are looking for best product, best offer, comparing different products, which means that for real, people use online not to find the cheapest product, but also they seek for advice, they seek for recommendations, they seek for better solution. And in terms of decision-making funnel, the online search gets higher, making the demand, making you help a demand on your product, and that is huge. For brands, they keep on going digitally. Like L'Oreal has more than 75% of sales online. Another great example is Nike. Nike left Amazon in 2017, and since that time, they made nearly 40% of revenue in direct-to-customer sales and 22% of sales making directly on website Nike.com. And this #1 global fashion site with more than 150 million unique visitors. And this is another huge trend in e-commerce in general. But as we've seen in this tremendous, fabulous year, e-commerce was disrupted. But also disrupted was advertising. Let's have a look on how the share of US advertising changed. And we see that internet sales were growing every year. And internet advertising was growing every year, and every year it was more and more. And the share of other channels like newspapers, magazines, radio, and TV was declining comparative to internet and in total amount as well. What actually is online advertising today? Today, online advertising has three main platforms that consolidate data about people behavior, data about people interests, and provide the access to their users. And those are three main areas: search intent with SEO, search engine optimization. It's Amazon intent, searching through Amazon, and Facebook interests that helps you to target people per interests. Next 5 platforms has just a minor share of all the budget, and the rest is the rest. And let's compare these 3 giants with total spending on online and offline. You see that they together already dominate the offline advertising in general, and search, Amazon, and Facebook are three main players in the field. So, as if this dominance of 3 major platforms was not enough for building a competitive marketing, welcome the cookie apocalypse. Cookie apocalypse means that most browsers are going to drop the practice of using third-party cookies to retarget and build marketing campaigns around the audience. And who's going to be winner in this situation? Again, there are 3 behemoths of advertising: Google, Facebook, and Amazon. They can target their users internally as a proprietary platforms. They possess the information about people behavior. They can generate understanding of user intent automatically, and that's a great solution for them. So basically, whom targets the third-party players? Those are independent advertising platforms, and they gonna have bad times in front of them. So, as if it wasn't not enough, now we are advised to fight blindfolded. What does it mean, blindfolded? I mean just 2 main changes in iOS 15 mailing privacy protection policy, which helps users to hide their IP address and hide information from tracking pixel that was traditionally used by marketers throughout the world to understand what mailings were more efficient, which were less efficient. And from nowadays, a lot of users are probably gonna change their policy and hide their emails. And this brings us a few not very well consequences, but we have to know how to adapt to them. First of all, we will see the decline in reported open rates, and this is gonna be the first result of this change, meaning the open rates generally gonna get lower. As another impact is a lot of practices that we've used before to optimize email by subject lines, pre-headers, and overall subscriber engagement could drop down dramatically. It's really hard to delete inactive subscribers, as before, there is a practice how we deal with subscribers who are inactive for a long period of time. We just cut them off, and this helps us to improve deliverability. But if you don't know really whether he's reading email or not, deleting the customer from now on is going to be tricky task, because you have to double check and somehow to respond to this. Another change is hide my email feature, a new feature that helps every user to substitute his actual email with random generated email, and so it will help people to hide their actual, real email from brands, and it will help them kind of be protected. But let's see what it brings to a marketer. So there is a possibility that people will sign up for your newsletter, but later they will drop this temporary email, and a lot of your emails might go to emails that is not existing anymore, and that is why you're gonna have more bounces on your campaign. And also, it's really hard to distinguish whether this email that you have new subscriber is he real or fake. So you don't know for sure, and this means that it's another problem for you, and to make a decision to keep this email on a list or not. Of course, most of ESPs will help you with this if they have a hard bounce like eSputnik does. It will help you to automatically remove this subscriber from your active list, and then you will know what to do with it. So those are the challenges that I mentioned. One of them, again, is dominance of a huge players on the market. It's really changing in and growing behemoths of advertising. It's lack of information and lack of retargeting capabilities due to cookie apocalypse. And another thing is the problems with direct communication via email due to new updates in iOS policy. I think I'm going to skip. I just wanted to mention that the main strategies that email marketers use, like this funnel approach to the users, was invented in 1989 and didn't change a lot. It's basically the AIDA model, and not much things change. A lot of changes in the world around us, but we stick to the same strategies as before. And to understand what could be the proper approach to this is, first of all, understanding that we have to find the ways how to work with this with existing customers as effective as possible. And to make it possible is actually to try to avoid the problems that you have. And the number one reason your customers leave your company or leave your brand is that they believe that you don't care about them. And so if instead of trying to sell them more, you will try to care about them, and it will benefit both sides. And by caring about them, I don't mean necessarily that you have to provide something for free or forget about making more sales. No, but you have to make sales in efficient way and so that it would benefit your customer as well. So that's why I think we should look at another thing. So most significant retail revenue drivers are retention and acquisition. And retention is actually number one. And to make retention effective, you have to know your customers. And what if we see that the most growing platform in the world is Amazon? Is it possible that you can provide the same or better customer experience as Amazon? Those who are online with us, I'll be happy if you could share your opinion, and just let's play a small game. Please add pluses if you believe that it's possible to personalize Amazon way, or minus if you don't think that it's possible. Come on, guys. I need your engagement here. So pluses if you believe that there are technologies that help you personalize like Amazon, and minus if it's impossible. Meanwhile, I'll keep on with my slides. Email marketing budgets, and in terms of personalization, we the most areas that have most potential is integrating email with other channels. And even more important is that when we speak about personalizing in email, it's technologically most advanced channel for personalization. But number one channel for personalization is website. And that is why I believe that when in eSputnik, we combine those two tools together and provide real-time feedback to a customer via email and via website, this actually answers the question how to make it possible. By personalization, I mean two typical approach. So you can personalize your newsletter with product cards that are relevant for this customer, and you can personalize your website with something that's relevant for another customer. So for me, it seems like a really complicated task to make it like working in real time. And because when you want to make personalized messaging, you have to know something about your customer. And when all the trends of development of new marketing technologies, they give you less and less information. Like in examples I've showed you before, a lot more important is to be able to gather data yourself. So if you can't rely on third-party cookies and can't rely on third-party services anymore, if you don't want to waste money on Facebook ads and you really want to make use of the data you already have, you need to have some tools that will help you get as more data about what you already have when people visit your website or visit your emails. And that is why I think we have to have a small step back to understand what really tracking is. So there are three main tracking methods: cookie, fingerprint, and beacon. So beacon is actually the way you use for email tracking, and that is the one that could be banned by Apple. Also, there is cookie tracking, and which means cookie is a small text that is put by browser in its memory and recorded. So when you get back to the same website, it can refer to what's recorded already and give you like better experience. Like for instance, you can getting back to the same website, for instance, for Netflix, You don't necessarily log in again. You can just continue watching the same movie you used to watch before, or you can see the set of your preferred videos and so on. So this is basically very good thing for user. And this is what we talk about first-party cookies. It also, the same technology could be used by third-party cookie for web tracking, meaning that if you go to some other website, you can understand that previously this guy was on another website viewing such products. And this is how you get your remarketing campaigns running. And there is third type of tracking is fingerprint. Like here is a set of preferences that every browser has, and this is how your browser could be identified. Imagine that one day I've passed the same test, and my browser possessed these characteristics. And imagine that, like user agent, the settings for HTTP access, browser details, time zone, fonts that I use, what like other parameters that I have configured for my personal for my particular browser was pretty much unique. And if you can, and statistically, this fingerprint of my browser was unique, like for almost 200,000 different other browsers. Can you imagine that no one? So if you have traffic about 200,000 visitors per month, you most probably will be able to identify any person on your website who goes to your website again, even without cookies, even without tracking pixel and so on, just because your browser is very unique and settings are very unique. Okay, let's move on. So how can we use the information? So the proper way of using information is making it in compliance with the law. The most strict laws regarding personal information currently are in European Union GDPR, in Canada, I don't remember this acronym, and also it's Castle from California. And when you collect this the information that you really want to use for your marketing campaign, of course you have to build it based on the consent, and there are a lot of tools that help you to automate this process for getting consent. And like, for instance, if you go to our website, in first time you will be shown this notification about what cookies are used on our website and how are we going to use them. Which of them are used for marketing purposes, which of them are used like strictly for technical purposes. Next thing. So let's see how tracking can help us to build better customer experience. Like, for instance, I will speak about eSputnik as a CDP platform, but it could be any other CDPs that you use, meaning that in this case, the main idea is that you have to be able and should aim to get the data you have and make it make it work for your customer and for you. Okay, so we have different data sources that could be used to get this data all together. It includes behavior in your mobile application, behavior on your website, behavior in your offline store, and all other data that could be that we can get from your loyalty program or CRM platform on and from campaigns itself, like sending email campaigns and other stuff. And we should use this omni-channel identification, meaning that each channel working separately provides you identification of about like 5% of visitors of your website who will actually log in and make a purchase. But we can make those channels work together. Like, for instance, helping via email to authenticate users on your website, helping you to provide better customer experience first, and secondly, to provide you with the data about who is this anonymous visitor on your website. Because eventually it will help you to give him better offers in the next email, or send him abandoned cart email, or text message notifying him about the promo code that he can use to improve, to get better products, and so on. So what the modern online shop is. Modern online shop is a very complicated thing. Like, for instance, here we have a modern online shop that has 16, can you imagine, on the main page, 16 different blocks of products based on recommendations that are built for particular this visitor. And not only products, but also blocks with relevant offers are also present here. And if the website is not enough complicated for you, keep in mind that they also have mobile version of a website, which has really different layout. They often have different like header, menu bar, but also product presentation, and product cards are different on mobile. And also remember that the modern online shop might have a mobile application which has third type of layout. So third team typically works with customers and provides them a different type of customer experience. So this could be really bad if we will not be able to find a way how to get all those parts of the equation work together for a better result. And to get that better result is, first of all, being able to know what's going on every part of your platform, whether it's mobile, web, or mobile online shop version. And secondly, to make the communication possible in every of these platforms as easy as it was like just one platform. And the next complication is about products. The same shop could offer like laptops and some gardening equipment, and they might have seasonal peaks of consumption. They might have some sales like Black Friday, and people behavior change rapidly in these periods because and your system has to be able to adapt to these changes, and more than just adapt, it should also be able to give you opportunity to influence the way this platform works. I'm going to skip a few slides now. For this few, I will have some more time for this. So what could be the best approach to use real-time data to improve your customer experience, to improve sales, and improve your marketing activities? Our typical answer for every marketeer, and that's a correct answer, of course, is using A/B testing. And A/B testing is a great solution. And if you can get like really reliable A/B tests, do it, make it, use it every day. Unfortunately, if you'll have a look on typical stats that we have per shop, like for example, this is like real life example that average income per session has $400. The standard deviation, which shows us how this income per session changes from one buyer to another, is 259, and the needed difference in results if we change something has to be 44 US dollars. And if you understand the term of standard deviation, it shows us how this variable is change, how much it's changed from one user to another. Like, if, for instance, if we have in this example, if we have the standard, the expected income per session for around $400, then 64% of all the sales that we will have will fall in the interval from 400 to 100 minus 259 US dollars and plus 259. So it varies from 140 to 660. And it's a huge difference, and the 60% of results are in this big diapason, and even more, like 40% are beyond those marks. And then you can only imagine that in order so your change on a website could really prove something, you have to get like several tens of thousands purchases to be made, so your B variant could prove that it's like really changes something. Which means that despite the A/B tests are a very good solution for for general cases, and for cases when you try to focus and improve some metrics which is really close to result, like for instance, like bounce rate or click-through rate, for those metrics, A/B tests work very well. But if you want to improve your sales, if you want to grow your income per session, in this case, the volatility of the result becomes like very big, and this means that statistically proven results is really hard to get on a typical e-commerce shop traffic. So it has to be either very big sites like Amazon, or it has to be something very simple, like with low variation in products, and still traffic has to be huge. So that's why A/B tests for improving sales and revenues don't work well for most of the cases. In this case, you would ask me, Alex, so if A/B tests don't work, then how should I change anything on my website? How can I add some recommendations or add some real-time reaction to people behavior? And to be sure that it like really brought the result. In this case, we offer something different. You can, first of all, you can add something on your website, like for instance, on your product card, you want to add a block with recommended products. And if this is something that people will like, you will see and track the percentage of how many people actually like this element and how often people click on this element. Like for instance, you will have 4% of all clicks that people like really involved in this element, and this gives you the first step. Okay, we added some new element on a page, and people are kind of like it. They click it, and it's significant amount, like 4% of all sessions is good enough just to prove that, okay, that changes something in people behavior. And then you can focus on other things, like and then you can track the sales that this element brings you. I'll give you some small examples of how it could work. I see that we don't have much time left, and I'm gonna hurry up to some new slides. So the next step is to analyze preferences of each client in history, set up algorithms that will provide this new block with different algorithms. So actually the way we fill out the block with recommendations could be easily adjusted. And then you can personalize all communication channels like page on a website, email, and other tab, and set up some scripts that will help you trigger the communication. So how to do it the right way? So there are several aspects of building real-time communication based on people behavior. First, it has to be omni-channel, because today you simply can't count on one channel of acquisition and one channel of retention, because it just doesn't work well enough. You have to have different touch points that will bring your customer back. Another thing is keep focus on fixing data gathering and data enablement. Use different tools to make your creatives effective and easy to implement and tailor for the particular needs, and so that you could do something better and focus on general marketing things instead of wasting your time trying to do some tedious and inefficient work like copy pasting and bringing back and forth the same inefficient actions. And we help to avoid this using our email marketing email editor. Let's have a brief overview how it works here. Well, true omnichannel marketing is not using different channels simultaneously. It's making them work together and exchanging information from channel to channel and uses data from channel to channel. So for instance, if you know that somebody was active on email campaign and used promo code from that email campaign, it immediately should be reflected in different channels, in your call center, in your sales point, and other. Data gathering. This is something that we focus on right now, providing more and more new channels for communication and new channels for gathering data. So, and the type of data could be different. Like for instance, you can track data from mobile application, track data from website, and all it has to be in compliance with regulations, and that's what eSputnik helps you to achieve, because we are currently building new technologies that will help you to gather this information using first-party cookies. So basically on your site, you will have to set up something similar to the way you allow eSputnik to send email marketing campaigns on your behalf. So the same way you will allow eSputnik to plant cookie on your website and then to use this information in your campaigns to make it personalized and to make it relevant and to help you increase the reach of your campaigns. Quite a lot of different things. One more thing I would bring your attention to is dynamic AMP emails. This is an example of how the email industry is growing and the way the marketing technology changed the world. Right now, you already can use your email to confirm sharing some file from Google Docs. Right now, you can actually comment on Google Docs and see those comments in real time in your email. And this is because Google team uses AMP technology, AMP for email to be precise, a technology that helps you to change email. So instead of static HTML files that is typically sent to your customers, You can send the whole small web application to your customer where he can interact and he can submit something, submit his feedback, submit NPS, submit request, and get the result immediately. And the way it's shown on this example, the whole checkout and product selection could be made inside email already. And that is something that we are very happy about, that we give this opportunity to our customers, creating such emails, tracking the results, and many, many more things. So now I would quickly switch to probably the last screen I have. As you can see, there's plenty more materials I had here, but unfortunately for the time schedule, I have to finish now. And if you will have any more questions, please, I'm still here online and I'll be happy to answer them. Hope you found it interesting, and I hope you found some insights on how to deal with modern complications that we have to be able to deal with, meaning changes in Apple, changes in tracking on browser, and many, many more things that you have to be able to perform in order to stay efficient with your marketing campaigns. And we here in eSputnik are very happy to be able to help you with any questions you have. So please count on our help and leave your questions here on the channel on YouTube, or you can scan the QR code and ping me on LinkedIn, or use email or Telegram as well. So I'll stay here for a few more minutes. If you have any more questions, please show them on YouTube. I'm here. Okay, guys, thank you so much for your time, and I think we'll be finishing right now. Again, ping me if you have any questions, and if you have some tasks that you want to deal with using automated campaigns and using web tracking, and make it in a very efficient and compliant to modern regulations way, we are here to help you with this. Bye-bye.